Namaste. So tonight I'm going to read Book 9, Chapter 11, on the origin of the Ganges in the Maha Devi Bhagavatam. Om Vakratuna Mahakaya Koti Surya Samapurni Devakanam. Hariyam Tatsat. The Deva Rishi Narada said, O thou, the foremost of the knowest of the Vedas, I have heard the excellent narration of earth. Now I want to hear the anecdote of Ganga. I heard ere long that Ganga, of the nature of Vishnu and appearing from the feet of Vishnu, is Isvari of the Devas, appeared due to the curse of Bharati or on Bharata. Why has she come to Bharata? In which yoga? And ask, by whom did she come to Bharata? O Lord, now describe to me this auspicious antidote capable to destroy sins and yield religious merits. Narayana said, O child, in ancient days, there was born a prosperous emperor king of kings in the Solar dynasty. He had two beautiful wives and was named Vaidharbi, and the other was named Savya. Savya delivered a very lovely son. His name was Asamanja. On the other hand, the queen Vaidharbi, desirous of getting a son, worshipped Shankara, the lord of Bhutas, who became pleased and granted her request, and Vaidharbi became pregnant. After 100 years of pregnancy, she gave birth to one mass of flesh. Seeing this, the queen became very afflicted and taking refuge of Mahadeva, began to cry loudly and very often. Bhagavan Shankara then appeared there in a Brahmin form and cut that mass of flesh into 1,000 pieces. Those 1,000 pieces turned out into 1,000 very powerful suns. Their bodies looked more brilliant than the midday sun, but they were all burnt to ashes by the curse of Kapila Muni, and the king began to lament bitterly, and he entered into the forest. Asamaja practiced tapasya to bring the Ganga for 1,00,000 years. When he quitted his body in course of time, his son Amsuman practiced tapasya for 1,00,000 years to bring Ganga unto Bharata, and he too died. Then the son of Amsuman, the intelligent Bhagirath, a great devotee of Vishnu, free of old age and death and the store of many qualifications, practiced tapasya for 1,00,000 years to bring Ganga on earth. At last he saw Shri Krishna, brilliant like 10 millions of summer suns. He had two hands. There was a flute in his hand. B was full of youth in the dress of a cowherd. A sight of his Gopala Sundari form, wearing a Sakhi's dress, makes one think that he is ever ready to show grace on his devotees. He is Parabrahma, whose substance is will. He has no defiances. Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheswara, and the other devas and munis, etc., all praise him, who pervades everywhere. He is not concerned with anything, yet he is the witness of all. He is beyond the three gunas, higher than Prakriti. A sweet smile is always in his face, which makes it the more lovely. There is none equal to him in showing grace to the bhaktas. His raiment is purified, uninflammable by fire, and he is decorated with gems, jewels, and ornaments. The king Bhagirath saw that unforeseen appearance, bowed down and began to praise over and over again. His whole body was filled with ecstasy. Then he clearly told what he wanted for the deliverance of his family. Bhagavan Shri Krishna then addressed Ganga and said, O Sureswari, go quickly and appear in Bharata under the curse of Bharati. By my command, go quickly and purify the sons of Sagara. They will all be purified by the touch of the air in contact with the Ganges and rise up in divine aerial cars, assuming forms like mine, and they will come to my abode. They will there remain always as my attendants, and they will not be involved in the sins that they committed in their previous births. O Narada, it is stated thus in the Vedas that if the human souls taking their births in Bharata commit sins for millions and millions of births, the sins will be completely destroyed if they touch once the air in contact with and carrying the particles of the Ganges. The sight of the Ganges and the touch of the Ganges water give religious merits 10 times more than the touch with the air in contact with the Ganges water. People become freed of their sins then and there, especially if they bathe in the Ganges. It is heard in the Srutis that the bathing in the Ganges, if done according to rules, destroys all the sins. Example, the murder of a Brahmin, etc., acquired in 1,000 millions of births, done consciously or unconsciously. The merits that are acquired by the bathing in the Ganges on a day of religious merit cannot be described even in the Vedas. Whatever is mentioned in the Agamas is but a mere trifle. Even Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesa cannot describe fully the merits of the bathing in the Ganges. O Brahmin, such is the glory of ordinary bathing. Now I will describe the effect of the Ganges bath done with a sankalpa resolve. Here, 10 times more the result is obtained when the Ganges bathing is done with the resolve, sankalpa, than ordinary bath. And if one bathes on the day when the sun passes from one sign to another in the zodiac, 30 times more religious merits accrue. On the new moon, Amavyas, on the new moon, Amavas day, the Ganges bath gives the merits as above mentioned. But when the sun is in his southern course, Dakshinayana, double the merits are obtained, and when the sun is in his northern course, 10 times more religious merits are obtained. The Ganges bathing in the time of Chaturmasya, full moon day, Akshaya Navami, or Akshaya Tritiya yields merits that cannot be measured. And if on the above parva particular periods of the year on which certain ceremonies are commanded, days both bathing and making over gifts are done. There is no limit in the religious merits acquired, 100 times more than ordinary bath. Religious merits are obtained. Great religious merits accrue from the Ganges bath on Manvantara Tithi. Yugadya Sukla, 7th day of the month, Magha, Bismastami day, Asokastami day, and Sri Rama Navami day. Again, double the merits than those of the above arise from bathing in the Ganges during the Nanda ceremony. The Ganges bath in the Dasara 10th Tithi gives merits equivalent to Yugadhya snanam, bath. And if the bathing be done on Mahananda or in Mahavaruni day, 4 times more religious merits accrue. 10 million times more religious merits accrue from the Ganges bathing on Mahavaruni day than ordinary bath. The Ganges bath in the solar eclipse yields 10 times more religious merits than in the lunar eclipse. Again, the snanam in Ardodaya Yoga yields 100 times more religious merits than that of the solar eclipse. Thus saying, the Ganga before Bhagirath, the Lord of the Devas, remained silent. The Devi Ganga, with her head bowed down with devotion, said, Ganga said, if I am after all to go to Bharata as thou commandest, and under the curse given previously by Bharati, then tell me how I would be freed of the sins that the sinners will cast on me. How long will I have to remain there? When, O Lord, shall I be able to return to the highest place of Vishnu? O thou, the inner self of all, O all-knowing, O Lord, whatever else I desire, thou knowest them all, so be pleased to instruct me on all these points. Bhagavan Sri Hari said, O Sureshwari, I know all that you desire. When you will assume the liquid form, the salt ocean will be your husband. He is my part, and you are of the nature of Lakshmi. So the union of the lover with the love-stricken in the world will turn out a happy and qualified one. Of all the rivers, Saraswati and others in Bharata that go to mix with the ocean, you will be the best and highly fortunate of them all. From today, you will have to remain in Bharata for a period of 5,000 years, under the curse of Bharati. You will be able to enjoy daily and always the pleasures with the ocean. O Devi, as you are a clever lady, so he is also apt and expert. The inhabitants of Bharata will praise thee and worship thee with great devotion by the stotra which Bhagirath has composed. He will derive the fruit of 1 horse sacrifice who will meditate on thee as per Kanvasakha and worship, praise and bow down to thee daily. Even if one utter Ganga, Ganga, though one is 100 yojanas away from the Ganges, one will be freed of all sins and go to Vishnuluka. Whatever sins will be cast in thee by 1,000 sinners bathing in thee will be destroyed by the touch of the devotees of Prakriti Devi. Even if thousands and thousands of sinners touch the dead bodies and bathe in thee, all those will be destroyed when the Devi Bhaktas, the worshippers of Bhuvaneshwari and Maya Vija, will come and touch thee. O auspicious one, thou wilt wash away the sins of the sinners by thy stay in Bharata with other best rivers, Saraswati and others. That will be at once a sacred place of pilgrimage where thy glories will be chanted. By the touch of the dust of thine, the sinner will be at once purified, and he will dwell in the Deviloka, Manidvipa, for as many years as will be the dust there. All hail to the Devi Bhuvaneshwari. He who will leave his body on thy lap will with full consciousness and remembering my name, will certainly go to my abode and will remain as my chief attendant for an infinite period. He will see countless prakritic layers, dissolutions of the universe. Unless a man has collected hordes of religious merits, he cannot die in the Ganges, and if he dies on the Ganges, he goes to Vaikunta, as long as the sun rises in this world. I get many bodies for him where he can enjoy the fruits of his karma, and I then give him my swarupya, form resembling mine, and make him my attendant. If any ignorant man, void of any jnanam, quits his body by touching merely thy water, I give him salokya, place in my region, and make him my attendant. Even if one quits one's body in a far-off place, uttering thy name, I give him place in my region for one lifetime of Brahma. And if he remembers thee with devotion and quits his mortal coil at another place, I give him sarupya, form resembling mine, for a period of endless prakritic layas. He instantly gets on an aerial car made of jewels and goes with my attendants to the region of Goloka and gets form like me. Those that worship daily my mantra that pass their day eating the remnant of the food offered to me, they need not have any distinction whether they die in Tirat or not. They themselves can easily purify the three worlds. Getting on the excellent and best aerial car built of jewels, they go to the region of Goloka. O chaste one, even if the friends of my devotees be born in animal births, they also will be purified by the devotion shown towards me, and getting on a jeweled aerial car will be able to go to Goloka, so difficult of access. Wherever the bhaktas may be, if they simply remember me with devotion, they will become liberated while living by the power of my bhakti. Thus saying to Ganga, Bhagavan Sri Hari addressed Bhagirata, O child, now worship Ganga Devi with devotion and chant hymns to her. The pure Bhagirata meditated with devotion as per Kautuma Saka, and worshipped the Devi and praised her repeatedly. Then Ganga and Bhagirata bowed down to Shri Krishna, and he disappeared at once from their sight. The Devarishi Narada said, O thou, the foremost of the knowers of the Vedas, how, by what Kutuma Saka, the noble king Bhagirata, meditated on the Devi Ganga? What stotra did he recite, and what was the method with which he worshipped the Ganges? Narayana said, O Narada, one should first take one's bath, and putting on a clean washed clothing should perform one's daily duties. Then one should control oneself and with devotion worship the six devatas, Ganesha, sun, fire, Vishnu, Shiva and Shivani. Thus one becomes entitled to worship. First worship is to be given to Ganesha for the destruction of obstacles. The sun is next. The sun is to be next worshipped for health, fire for purification. Vishnu is then worshipped for getting wealth and power. Shiva is worshipped for knowledge, and Shivani is worshipped for mukti. When these devatas are worshipped, one is entitled to worship the deity. Otherwise, contrary becomes the effects. Now I am saying what dhyana, meditation, did Bhagirata practice towards the Devi Ganga. Here ends the 11th chapter of the 9th book on the origin of the Ganges in the Mahapuranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Ved Vyasa. Om Jayant Mangalakari Padarakali Kapai.